I want to thank you, Madam Chairwoman. And before my colleague leaves, I want to say to you that I'm a pragmatic person. And having had a sister that died of a drug overdose and a father that was a drug addict, I have a very natural reaction. But I also know it's a reality. My state just legalized it. And it's being legalized in state after state in this country, and we need to deal with it. Part of the problem is, Madam Chairwoman, this is totally off, but I would encourage us to get the acting administrator of NHTSA in, who has this as a priority. Her problem has been that they have not been able to test it. You're starting to see more, but it needs to be an absolute priority. I think everyone in this room was worried about impaired driving, period. It's killing people. So pragmatically, you're absolutely right. I'm having to deal with what's legalized in Michigan now, and I want to make sure we keep people safe in the process. So I want to say that. Now I want to go to drunk driving, which we do know, we do have the technology, and it is killing people. So while we got to get there, and I want to thank my colleagues on the Republican side for, I think today's truly been a very bipartisan hearing. We've got a problem, and that's why we're here. And we've had a problem since the 70s. Or the 60s and the 50s, but we've been, as John Claybrook says, we've been talking about it since then. And I would also agree with Mr. Kelly that we do need a public relations campaign, because I don't remember this. Some people think I'm old, I'm seasoned, but not old. You're seasoned and not old either, Claybrook. But we still to this day hear about that campaign to require seat belts being buckled, and it's used as an excuse for everything. And we got to stop using it. It is now 2019. It's not the 1970s, and people are dying, and the technology exists. So I'm looking at that little girl who said to me, it exists, why aren't we using it? So I thank all of you for being here. Mr. Strasburger, you answered some questions about how many are being currently tested, but what I want to figure out is why how we're going to get this from limited field testing to something's placed in vehicles. I totally agree that 4 years is just way too long. We keep having that excuse. So, and you said California, you got to ask a question about whether California was one of those states. Have you gone to California? What are you doing to actively go out and market it and to accelerate it?
So what we are doing, number one, is in just next week, I'm meeting with all of the OEMs to update them on this technology and tell them that now that we're moving to fleet, or see the time for fleet deployments, that they should begin to consider including this in their own program plans and package protect for the technology. Next month, we are at the National Fleet Administrators Conference in Kentucky, meeting with them and trying to get this deployed through fleets, et cetera.
I don't want to interrupt, but I'm going to have you give us more answers because I've only got 2 minutes left. But how many more vehicles do you need to get the solid testing data?
I think that the suggestion that Ms. Whitty made about the GSA fleet is an excellent one.
Okay, so I'm going to ask all of you, what should Congress be doing to accelerate the pace of deployment for dads?
Well, in our case, it would be to continue to fund this research, and if we have additional
okay,
funding.
we keep funding it, but it's not getting there. Ms. Claybrook, Mr. Kelly, would you care to comment?
What I would say is that the Congress should mandate it with a date certain, and pick a date when these systems have to be in cars, ask NHTSA to do the rulemaking, take all the research that's been done, and evaluate it and show that these systems work, can be used. They are being used now on the highway. If they're used now on the highway, why can't they be in every car? I don't get it. And so that's for the interlock. The dads should certainly be pushed, and NHTSA should be given an instruction to do that and a date for getting them into cars.
Mr. Kelly?
I think the public education campaign needs to be ramped up and some oversight on that and what's happening there. Especially working with NHTSA, what they're doing from their involvement is helpful too.
Okay, I'm going to move quickly. Ms. Whitty, in states that have, I'm going to switch subjects because I'm down to 20-some seconds. In states that have mandatory first offender interlock laws, have you seen a reduced number of alcohol-related fatalities?
Yes, by about 16%, yes.
Ms. Claybrook, what do you think is needed to have the other 18 states adopt mandatory first offender interlock laws?
Well, this Congress could require that the states do that, just like they did on age 21 and .08, have a penalty, maybe a 2 or 3 year phase-in, and then a penalty apply. And as I said, the penalty's never been applied because all the states have always done it.
Ms. Sweetie, what's the cause of resistance from states that haven't implemented the mandatory first offender laws?
That's a good question.
So we'll get you to answer that for the record, because I'm now over, but we have a...
I don't
more
understand
questions for
that.
the record, Madam Chair. Thank you.
So
And I
ordered.
also request unanimous consent from the committee to submit the full text, it's not a little report, a report from the National Academy of Science, which has items we should all be considering as we're working this issue.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you. Sorry I had to be so fast.